Thank you. Yesterday, you were talking with one of our friends, and you said, I don't know if I have the exact phrase, but manifestation slows you down. So
That we were really out there on the leading edge, weren't we?
And that really struck me as a very profound statement. It lined up with a lot of what I was thinking without knowing that's what I was leading myself to think.
We like that that's the nugget you took away from the day, because that was the leading edge bulletin of the century.
Yeah, it was huge for me. It made me realize how so much of, since I can remember, I would classify myself, and probably many teachers classified me as a dreamer, and I can go from 0 to 1,000 with my dreams and have very much fun following my thoughts and my inspiration and whatever it is that I want to think about. And then I get slowed down going, well, how come it hasn't shown up? Or why isn't it not showing up? And it slows me down from the next thing that might strike me moments later where I want to go with thought or
Let's explore it from every angle, because we've been talking about it for a long time, but something about that particular conversation brought it out in a powerful new way. So it's easy to ask for something and imagine. Better word than easy is it's faster to think it than to manifest it. There's a buffer of time. 99.99% of all creations are completed vibrationally before there is any manifestation. But that part goes really, really fast if you allow the alignment. So when we said, and it was a dramatic way of saying it, that manifestation slows you down, we don't mean that you shouldn't want to manifest. What we mean is, if you will be a thinker and take your joy from the thought, then you've got what you were looking for anyway, because everything that everybody thinks they want, whether it's a material object or a pile of money or a relationship or a circumstance or an event, everything that they want is because they think they will feel better when they have it. So if you can leave out the manifestation and go to the thought of it and take pleasure from the thought, now you've accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish with the manifestation. But the reason most people don't get that is because most people are still offering most of their vibration in response to what they are observing. It's like you think you have to have it before it's real. And we're wanting you to realize that if you've got it in your mind, and if you're having a visceral, good feeling, emotional response to it, you've accomplished all you need to accomplish. People all over this room and in every room where we say anything like that begin to freak out immediately, because they think, oh yeah, Abraham's dead. They're non-physical. They don't even need a house. They're trying to get us to be the same way. A woman said to us, I don't think you even care if my lover ever comes to me. I think you just want me to hold him in my mind so clearly that I don't notice that he's not here. And she didn't mean that in a nice way. She was accusing us of that, and we were caught red-handed. We said, yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. Because when you are envisioning him, you're happy. And you said some really important things, because you're acknowledging that you can hold something in your mind and you can be happy. But here's the hurdle that we want to get over. Most people, even in a leading edge, advanced, deliberate, creative environment like this, most people learn about vibration to affect manifestation. Don't you? Isn't that sort of the bottom line of all of it? Okay, I'll play your stupid games. I'll do the stupid processes. I'll line up my stupid energy because it'll get me what I want. And we say, it'll make you happy. And they say, oh yeah, I'll be happy, but when will my stuff come? When my stuff come? And we say, well, why do you want the stuff? So I can be happy. But when will my stuff come? Well, what about being happy first? That's the thing that you have to get your thoughts around.
Alrighty then. No, I feel good with that. I feel like I'm up to speed with that.
We felt you feel completely everything that we said. And so we were just embellishing your platform. Now bounce off from it.
And what I want then is to go even farther. Those times when there is doubt in me, or I do focus in a way that I'm having difficulty staying in alignment.
I mean, knowing that now you know everything, because now you're not ever going to feel the negative emotion that you call doubt again, that you won't know, I'm doing it right now. I'm doing that thing I do. I'm not going willingly right now. Start saying that when you feel negative emotion. What does negative emotion mean? I'm not going willingly. Going where willingly? Say it out loud to other people. Oh, I got negative emotion. I'm not going willingly. Going where? Downstream. What? I'm not going willingly downstream. What? Well, everything that I want's downstream and I'm not going willingly. And even someone who doesn't know anything will say, well, why? Why aren't you going willingly? It's everything you want's downstream. Why don't you go? What's wrong with you? It would be a good way to approach this because you have no valid reason. You don't have one valid reason except habit of thought that you learned before you know what you now know. And now you know what you now know. Everything that you knew before is invalid on that subject. Everything that you know now that contradicts what you knew before makes what you know now what you want to keep active. So why would you ever go back to what you knew before? Do you know what the majority of negative emotion is? Trying to go back to what you knew before. Now think about it in terms of what we've been saying here all day today. You're becoming when you don't let yourself become, when you don't go willingly, when you try to hold to those old thoughts that don't work, that aren't accurate, that aren't a vibrational match to what you now know. Oh, don't you love knowing that? And the idea that somebody else should be right where you are on every subject is what trips you up more than any other thing. That's the thing that makes you more uncomfortable than almost all other things together. You want the people, especially the people close to you, but you want the people in your life to know what you know. And you know what? They don't. People around you don't know what you know. They've got a different vibrational gap. So one person could be living something, saying something, believing something, and not have a vibrational gap because their life didn't cause them to become something more, so they're not violating their own expansion. Where only you can know if you're violating your own expansion. And we think that is the most powerful way of looking at it that we can give you. We think that you and everybody else would have an easy time dealing with your gap if you weren't trying to factor others in. If you weren't trying to see the world through the eyes of others, if you weren't trying to see everything from somebody else's perspective, you'd close your gap easily and you'd be influential, and they would be more likely to come along willingly to what life has caused them to be, you see. You said something earlier that we want to go back to, and you do too, and that's the next logical step idea. So what do we mean when we say the next logical step? Well, if you could see from our point of view, because we see your vibrational escrow and we know where you are in relationship to it, and we see the whole path laid out. So we're envisioning the logical path for you, but our envisioning it from our pure, non-resisted point of view doesn't help you if you're not in the vicinity of what we are envisioning. In other words, we know exactly how it can play out, but in the same way that we said earlier, you could have a conversation with someone who's giving you the answer, and if you're not in the vibrational vicinity, you can't hear the answer even though they're spelling it out, writing it out, shouting it out, if you're not somewhere in the vicinity of it. So the source within you is tending to your vibrational escrow, knows where you are in relationship to it, and is clearly defining the path to help you logically and sequentially, but most importantly, joyfully unfold in this. And when you're beating the drum of worry, you can't hear it. But as you're leaning more and more to feeling good, following your bliss, doing those things that are interesting to you, playing them out, musing, imagining, remembering, but doing it all for the sake of how you feel, then what happens is you train yourself into vibrational vicinity, so the next logical steps that we see now are seen by you. That's what impulses are. You know those impulses, you just get an idea about something and you follow through on it, and oh, it's blissful? That's the way it can always be for you. Artists and musicians, they tap into it, most of them sporadically. Esther taps into it sporadically, or in a setting like this, she taps into it full head-on. In other words, she's open to it so that our next logical step occurs completely to her. In other words, Every idea that we are projecting, she is receiving seamlessly and expressing, because she, right here, right now, is on the identical vibrational wavelength that we are. And all of you can do that. You just have to train yourself into alignment with who you've become.
And logical step doesn't necessarily mean chronological or incremental in a sense that
An impulse that occurs to me that is so compelling that anything else would be illogical. In other words, that feeling of I just can't not go. I can't not think about this. I can't not think about this. There's so much power in it. And when you hook up with the power of the energy that is within you, when you allow yourself that, wonderful things happen. In other words, that's why we demonstrate this energy and this energy. This energy is huge. And when you start deliberately leaning in the direction of it and you start hooking into that power, that's why you look around the world. Don't you notice that there are those influential beings? How does somebody how does someone receive billions of dollars? Can you explain that logically? When you're measuring against action, how do you explain that disparity in people receiving? And we've just got to say to you, it's vibrational. It hasn't got anything to do with action. The vibration happens first, and then the next logical step occurs to them. And by logical, we mean logical in the sense that source energy agrees with it. That's what we mean by logical.
So there's no value necessarily in me trying to expand my concept of logical, because that's just going to create probably an upstream action for me.
Use a different word if you want to. I want the feeling, the impulse of wanting to go. Esther has a handful of things in her life, but the most significant was when she knew that she and Jerry were going to be together. When that thought exploded in her mind, she could never step back from it. And nothing else was logical. She could not step back from it. And when she acquiesced to the power of that knowing, it was incredible, the circumstances and events that began to reveal themselves. And there were a lot of people in Esther's life who were encouraging her otherwise. And to each and every one of them, she said, "Go away from me." In other words, nothing could dissuade her. You say. And why would that be? Why would, when she got in the vibrational vicinity of that, why would it feel so powerful and so logical? Because they were in each other's vibrational escrow. They had been in each other's vibrational escrow before either one of them were born. They were teachers intending to live life, enough different life that they would be a good balance for one another. And every day of both of their lives, they were putting things in vibrational escrow that each of them matched to. And neither one of them were in perfect alignment, but they were close enough into alignment that the logical steps brought them into vibrational vicinity or proximity of one another. And even then, they were around each other for about 3 years before it became clear to Esther that she was going to have her way with him. It was logical. It was logical, meaning it was compelling, meaning that nothing else felt like that. It was a hell yes, beyond anything that either of them had ever felt before. And everything can be like that. We're not just talking about finding the love of your life. We're talking about everything. All creations have those kind of powerful culmination points, because all creation has a vibrational escrow that is being focused upon by source energy. There's a huge calling toward it. And when you get in the vicinity of it, you feel it. Most don't let themselves get into the vicinity of it, because you're keeping that rule, and you're keeping that rule, and you're keeping that rule, and you're doing what that one wants, and you're doing what that one wants, and you're listening over here, and you've not trained yourself to keep yourself in the vibrational vicinity. But when you train yourself to be in the vibrational vicinity, then things just keep occurring to you. And people who are looking on at you say, "What is your magic? How do you do it? It seems like you just saw that bolt 4 days ago." All things come to you. It's the way it's supposed to be. When you want something and you don't doubt it, it must come. It is law.